Hi guys, it's story time. Story time. And this is a book that my mom gave me a long time ago called 1000 Tracings Healing the Wounds of World War II. So I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to show you the pictures too, but it's a little bit easier if I hold it normal because it's kind of bulky. So 1000 Tracings by Lita Judge. 1000 Tracings. Papa came home. December 1946. When I was 3, Papa left home to join the war. When I was 6, the war was over, and Papa came back to me and Mama. I thought everyone we loved was home and safe, but just before Christmas, a letter arrived that changed everything. There's the nasty weather like we had this past week, even though it's May. They have no shoes. The letter was from our German friends, the Kramers. We hadn't heard from them since before the war. They're starving, Mama said. Their clothing is worn, they have no shoes, and with tears in her eyes, Mama gathered wool socks and sweaters, even her own winter coat. She placed all these things and cans of meat, sugar, and tea in a box. It will be a very sad Christmas for many families in Europe. So here we are gathering our extra stuff, packing it in a box. Okay, here we go. Dropped from the heavens. Weeks passed and another letter came. When your package arrived, my wife suggested that it was sent by the infant Jesus. It dropped from the heavens. You have no idea the excitement we shared when we all opened the parcel and took out each valuable treasure. Signed, Dr. Kramer. Below his name he wrote, "Please send no more to me. Help others." 1000 Tracings, February 1947. Dr. Kramer included a list of 10 families. He sent tracings of their feet. Mama and I found a pair of shoes for each one. I matched the shoes with the tracings. Papa asked Dr. Kramer for more names, and soon names came like rain, pouring out of letters written in German. Mama's grandma had taught her how to read the German. Mama read a letter to me. "We have only one pair of boots and must take turns. I work at night, and my husband works during the day. We spend the rest of our time in bed for warmth." I counted 100 foot tracings. How would we find shoes for everyone? So they would trace their feet on the newspaper, cut them out, and send them to families in America to help them find shoes. Late nights, March 1947. Mama worked late nights translating German letters into English. She mailed the English copies to everyone we knew. Soon letters offering help came flooding back. Our friends couldn't afford to send new shoes and clothing, but perhaps they could send me hand-me-downs. Mama wrote so many letters. In the evenings, we knitted wool socks until our hands were raw. I put the socks in the shoes on the tracings. There she is. Our battles, late March 1947. Men had fought their battles during the war. Now, Mama and I fought our own battle. A battle to keep families alive, to keep them safe from cold and hunger, families we didn't even know. Yet we grew to love them, little boys and girls just like me, and they were suffering. Mama and I searched for what they needed. So this is an important part of this lesson. When the war is over, it isn't like everything goes back to normal lickety-split. They had a lot of healing and rebuilding to do in Germany and the rest of Europe. This section is called Eliza, April 1947. Every week, more letters arrive from Europe. Our home was bombed and we lost everything. My little girl and baby boy and I live in a cellar with 2 other families of 5 for 5 weeks with only beans to eat. My husband is still missing. Now we live with my father. Anything would be helpful. My little girl, Eliza, has blonde hair like floating flax. Now she is pale and no longer plays. I thought about that little girl. She was my age. I sewed a rag doll with a yellow dress. I slipped it into the pocket of a wool skirt we included in the next package. I wanted Eliza to have something nice. "1,000 tracings. Soon 1,000 tracings lined the walls and floors, 1,000 tracings waiting for shoes, like rows of trees waiting for rain. I imagined Eliza and her brother barefoot. Barefoot, July 1947. All our friends helped. Some families had less to give, but always they found a way. Our neighbor, Mrs. Greenberg, canned and sold beans from her garden to earn postage for the packages to be sent. Many children gave up their shoes. It was summer, so we just went barefoot. We would get new shoes in the fall for school anyway. It's kind of a cute puppy. Her picture and mine, September 1947. Eliza's mother sent a letter. A small note slipped out with a picture of the little girl. Mama read the tiny, neat German script. "Thank you so much for the little doll. I named her after you. I lost my own doll when our home was bombed. But now we have a nice home with grandfather. 5 other families live here, but everyone is friendly. Father was a doctor during the war, and we haven't heard from him in a long time. Eliza." Mama helped me write a letter in German to Eliza. And this is a picture of that actual little girl. Hard years, Christmas 1947. Winter was bitter cold. Wind blew drifts that buried our windows, and ice bent the birches and broke the pines. Papa said, "Hard years sometimes come to trees as they do to men." We waited to hear from Eliza again and hoped her father had returned home in time for Christmas. Finally received another letter from her. "You should have seen Mama's face when she saw the soap you sent. We haven't had enough soap to wash ourselves in 2 years. I don't know if we were happier to take a bath or to drink the delicious cup of cocoa. My baby brother loves his new blue trousers. He runs through the house calling himself Amerikaner, Amerikaner." We still have not heard from Father. Fewer tracings, May 1948. Each day we searched for more shoes. Mama and I found clearance sales, gathered unclaimed shoes at repair shops, and collected them from neighbors. I cleaned the used boots and put in new lacings. Every old boot, even old boots, would be warm and sturdy. We sent needles and tough thread and leather for future repairs. Fewer tracings now lined our floor. Spring rains covered our fields with yellow flowers like ribbons on a present. Father is home, October 1948. Every day I check the mailbox for a letter from Eliza. Cold fall days turned trees to gold. But just for a day, summer returned, and Eliza's letter came. Father is home. Mama and Papa hugged me tight. We sang and danced. Father is home. Father is home. Red shoes, Christmas 1948. Eliza's father sent a beautiful painting of a swallow with instructions to hang it in my room. The foot tracings were almost gone and life was returning to normal. Papa gave Mama a pair of beautiful red dancing shoes. Mama held them close. She loved to dance. So this is the last part. This is the author's note, kind of showing the real part of the story. I found a dusty box while cleaning out my grandmother's attic. Inside were hundreds of aged, yellowed envelopes from all over Europe containing foot tracings of every size. My grandmother never spoke of this mystery, but when my mother saw the box, the memories crept back. The aftermath of World War II brought great suffering to the people of Europe. Thousands of Americans responded, healing the wounds of war with kindness. My grandparents, Fran and Frederick Hammerstrom, headed one relief effort initiated by American ornithologists. This is their story. They enlisted the help of fellow scientists, and together they sent care packages to more than 3,000 people in 15 countries throughout Europe. The photos of people, letters, lists, and tracings shown in this book are actual items I found in the attic. The swallow painting now hangs in my house. Photos of canned food, boots, and soap are authentic to the 1940s, but are not the actual items sent. My mother made a rag doll used in this book for me. I thought it represented beautifully all the toys she made and collected so many years ago for so many children. Lasting friendships resulted from these acts of kindness. My grandparents became particularly close to Dr. Gustav Kramer and Konrad Lorenz, who later won the Nobel Prize. My mother and her brother even lived with the Kramer and Lorenz family for a year, and their children lived with my grandparents. One letter found with the foot tracings read, "We are full of thanks to our American colleagues. Their friendship lets us believe once more in the future, which otherwise lay before us as a frightful darkness." So even when the emergency was over, even when World War II was over, there was still a lot of work to do, a lot of battles to be fought, helping people meet their needs. Just like the Marshall Plan and the Truman Doctrine tried to do.